moment in time, not just because of him, but because of what we've seen the Democrats do. We're not falling for it any longer. The American people aren't falling for it any longer. I voted Democrat, and I got to tell you something right now. I don't like the fact that I did. I don't like what I'm seeing.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith one more time. I know we just got done talking about him in another video the other day where he basically came out and said that he regrets voting for Kamala Harris. Well, now, of course, he received some backlash, right? You know, the black Democrats were probably all over him for saying those things because you can't come out and speak badly about the Democrats. So, of course, after he said that, he came out maybe like a day or two later, taking his words back, basically saying that he never said that he regrets voting for Kamala Harris. But we watched it ourselves. We watched it in a video. We made a video about it. But we're going to watch him basically saying that his words were misrepresented in an article by Fox News, them using a headline that said that Stephen A. Smith basically regrets voting for Kamala Harris. Now, what's funny about this whole segment that he went on, his little rant, is that he uses his own video and misrepresents himself because he doesn't play the full clip where he says that he basically hates the fact that he voted for Democrats. So let's get into that clip. And then I'll see you guys in the comment section as well because he's getting roasted on his own video. So before we do, guys, hit the like button down below. It really helps the channel out. And of course, if you're brand new, consider hitting subscribe. So let's get into it.
Some political talk, specifically my conversation on Fox News this weekend with the one and only Mark Levin. They call him the Great One, conservative radio host throughout the country. Plus, you can catch him on Patriot Radio, on Sirius XM. Channel 125. He's been a phenomenal host there for years. Nevertheless, I appeared on his show, Life, Liberty, and Levin, which airs on Fox News on Saturday nights and Sunday nights. And while I was there, I gave my thoughts on the 2024 election and expressed some regret about what has transpired with the Democrats and Vice President Kamala Harris. And I've said this on many, many occasions. I don't like what I'm seeing from the Democratic Party. I said it on Life, Liberty, and Levin to Mark Levin himself. I've said it to this audience on various occasions. I'm saying it again now. Nobody's backing up from it. Nevertheless, I have to tell you that, and I don't blame Mark Levin for this, but did you see the headline on Fox News? Did you see it? Did you see it? In case you didn't see it, put it up there for us, folks. Let them see it right there. Look at that headline right there. Stephen A. Smith regrets backing Vice President Harris, open to voting GOP, not interested in the fear-mongering. Before I go to the actual clip of what I literally said, so I can show you all myself, let me state for the record, I throw no fault in the direction of Mark Levin for the headlines. As a reporter, as a commentator and pundit throughout the years, there have been many, many times where I have said something and having no responsibility for the headlines whatsoever. The headlines didn't completely accurately portray what I had said. So if I've gone through that, I'm certainly not going to blame Mark Levin, nor would I ever accuse him of misrepresenting me. Just like I've been friends with Sean Hannity for over 20 years, that also applies to Mark Levin, who I've also known now pretty much 20 plus years. So he is a friend. He is somebody that I communicate with often. No, we do not agree on a lot of our politics, just as is the case for Sean Hannity. But I respect those guys, and I've known them for years, and they've always watched my back, always. And I always appreciate that, and I'm always going to do the same for them. So it's not about that. But it is important that you all know exactly what I said, because headlines like that turn to go viral. So without further ado, this is just a small clip of Mark Levin asking me the question that he asked, and I want you to listen to my answer. Here it is.
Stephen A. Smith, so could you see yourself seeing what you see now? And obviously Donald Trump can't run for president again, but if he could, under the current circumstances, could you see yourself voting for him?
Quite possibly. I'm not going to sit up there and dismiss that anymore. I think we're beyond that. He would have to prove a lot, Mark. And I'm not talking about policy now for a second. Allow me to say this. What concerned me about Donald Trump, and the reason I voted against him and voted for Kamala Harris, was because I felt that he would be divisive, that he would create chaos because he demands such a level of loyalty and fealty to him. And that would take priority over governing our nation. That was my concern. And so I'm looking for both sides to work across the aisle from one another. Having said that, when you see some of the things that he said, if he follows through on some of the things that he has said, it's not just about eradicating inflation, improving the economy, obviously controlling our borders. These are all things that I care about, make no mistake about that. And I certainly would support him in that regard. But it can't be just about fealty to him and loyalty to him. It has to be about getting the job done on behalf of what's in the best interest of the American people, as opposed to yourself, and not engaging in the kind of juvenile tendencies, tweeting all the time and going after people who are really much irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. You do things like that and you show that you're the adult in the room. Yeah. I don't think anybody could dismiss Donald Trump at this particular moment in time, not just because of him, but because of what we've seen the Democrats do. That is what I said.
So pause, right? There you go. Let's stop right there. Now, you noticed, once again, if you guys watched the video from the other day, that he did not play the full clip. So let's watch here where he actually says that he does, he hates the fact that he voted for Kamala Harris.
For it any longer. I voted Democrat, and I got to tell you something right now. I don't like the fact that I did. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't want to hear about, we're about law. We're about a law. Nobody's above the law. Nobody's above the law. But then you go out and you pardon your son.
The rest of it is irrelevant. Once again, he literally just came out and just
the Democrats do. We're not falling for it any longer. The American people aren't falling for it any longer. I voted Democrat, and I got to tell you something right now. I don't like the fact that I did. I don't.
That's the definition of regret. That is the perfect example of regret. Is you doing something and you saying, "Dang, I hate the fact that I did that." That is like literally the definition of regret. And so, no, his words were not misrepresented, and they were not taken out of context like he's claiming that they were, which is hilarious, because he's basically accusing Fox News of misrepresenting his words, but he misrepresented his own words by literally leaving that part of the clip out of his comeback video, essentially, right? So anyway. So, of course, the comment section is not buying this nonsense, right? First comment almost got 1,000 likes here. Steven basically supports every policy that Trump has, but voted for Kamala because he felt that he was too divisive. The logic is not there. It's not there at all, because what he just explained or experienced, and I explained it in the other video, is the divisiveness of the left. When he just came out and said and started to criticize the Democrats and started talking bad about them, he realized that he's no longer, part of the crew, right? He's not invited to their little gatherings, what they call it. You're not invited to the cookout anymore. That's what it is. I told you guys, he was on the way to the Underground Railroad, but hey, they noticed that they saw him running away, starting to make his way to the train tracks, to the railroad, and they're pulling him back. They pulling him back in, and he can't handle it. He's a coward. And the biggest reason that he's doing this is because he's still making commentary videos about sports. He's still talking about sports, which is, that he's linked with ESPN, which is linked with ABC, which is linked with Disney. And he's also talking about politics. So he's not trying to lose audience on the sports commentary side. So if he is trying to be a political commentator, you have to go all the way in, Steven. You can't just play defense here. You can't play both sides here. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because you're going to have both sides that are essentially just going to shun you. People on the right are going to see that you're a liar and a grifter, and you're just basically going to bend the knee whenever you get attacked. And then the left is already shunning you because you disagree with them on these policy issues that you agree with the right on. You agree with how Trump might handle the inflation and the border and crime and foreign policy, right? You said all of these things. And so it makes no sense that you agree politically with the right, but still vote for Kamala Harris. And that's the reason that the left is pushing you out, because you disagree with them and said it out loud. But you can't come out and say that. You can't come out and say that if you're working for the likes of, the Disneys and so on and so forth. So Guy is a loser to me. Somebody says, dude, you can't blame anyone but yourself. You are the black Gerardo Rivera, going where the wind blows and riding the fence so hard you guys almost saw yourself in half. Someone says, bro, the headline was accurate. I listened to your interview on Fox. Stop trying to pander to the left and ride the fence, bro. Own it. Right. Take his man card. This is the true definition of playing both sides. He's doing what the Democrats do, is gaslighting. He's playing the semantics game. Well, I didn't technically say I regret. I didn't use the word regret. And this is what Democrats tend to do, is play semantics and gaslight you and say, well, I didn't really technically say that. Well, yeah, you didn't really come out and say you regret. You didn't use the word regret. But what you just described is the textbook definition of regret. You doing something and you hating the fact that you did it. You wish you could take it back. You literally just said that. That's the definition of regret, bro. This guy is a clown. He's a loser. He's not a man. He's not a man of his word. You should have just doubled down. You should have just doubled down if this is what you truly meant. If this is how you truly felt, and if this is what's in your heart, you should have doubled down. That's what a real man would have done. Stephen A. voted based on race. And the story, Stephen A. sounds like me in 2018, right before I came out and said, yeah, I am a Republican. It just sounds like every gaslighting Democrat that exists, in my opinion. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the content. Let me know what you think. I think so. Those of you guys that left a comment in the other video that Stephen A. is a grifter, you might be right. So let's talk about this video in the comment section. Hit the like button down below, guys, if you like my content. And of course, if you are brand new, consider hitting subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.